Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. This time we're doing a deck profile for the Mono Blue Future Trunks strategy. The strategy is really cool. There's a lot of different ways you can customize it. There is like a core way you do need to play the deck, but besides that, I think it's a really powerful Mono Blue deck. You guys may have seen last week we put up the Red Yellow Surge Goku versus Future Trunks gameplay, and it was like a super tight-knit game. Like, it really could have went either way, and that was kind of the power scaling we felt when we played the matchup several times. It really felt even. Like, it felt like Bandai did a really good job of building this new set, at least the Mono Blue strategy, in terms of keeping up with the older, stronger stuff. So guys, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so never miss a video. If you want to help support the channel, there are many free ways to do that during these trying times. You can always like the video, maybe share the video with a friend, maybe watch an ad, and if you want to pre-order or buy any of the cards you see in today's video, you can always use my link in the description below to TCG Player. That stuff really helps out a really great deal. That being said, we're getting into the deck profile. So this leader, when it first got spoiled, like before we knew what any of the main deck stuff did, I was so excited for it because of the permanent here. During your opponent's turn, if you would add a card from your life to your hand or place it in your drop area, you may reveal it and add it to your hand instead. So the fact that you literally can't be critted, that just feels really strong. And I guess this was a mechanic in some other card games where you would take damage in your life and then, like, you know, get effects off of that, but I had no idea that existed. So just the fact that you couldn't be critted was really, really cool to me. So auto when this card attacks, draw one. We're starting with the unawakened side. When your life or your opponent's life's at 4 or less, you may draw one card, then switch one of your energy to active mode. That's really important because you don't always want to go so low in life super early. You do want to defend sometimes early on because you want to set your life up in a way that your life always gives you effects when you take damage. And you want to take damage like throughout the whole course of the game. So the fact that you can awaken when your opponent's at 4 or less is very helpful. So same permanent on the backside, same attack, draw one on the backside. Activate main once per turn, pay 2. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and place it at the bottom of the owner's deck. At the end of your turn, choose up to one of your mono blue energy and switch to active mode. So this activate main actually comes up a lot. I know we've seen leaders in the past that do similar things, but this comes up a whole lot because a lot of the times, you know, you and your opponent are going with that back and forth of counterplaying each other, or maybe your opponent drops a secret rare on you and you do survive the turn. Having the built-in removal for your leader that also untaps energy is super strong. And a lot of times you are playing blue, you have excess energy, so you're not always going to be spending it. So having that ability is really clutch. So starting off with the main deck, your essential stuff: 3 Bean, 4 Dimension Magic. We're only going with 3 Bean because, I don't know, nowadays when you're trying to build decks and you need deck space, Bean is one of those cards you can cut to 3. Playing 4 would be cool, but I mean, it's only really good against aggro, and yeah, aggro is definitely a thing this format, but I would probably side deck the 4th copy. I just really wanted to make space in the main deck for some other things. Zeno, Edge of Space, that's a super combo I'm going with at this very moment. And this could really be so many different things. It could be Zeno, Edge of Space. It could be the Blue Yellow Zamasu super combo, because we've talked about it on the channel before. Just because you're playing a mono blue deck doesn't mean you can't play the multicolor super combos, especially Blue Yellow Zamasu, because that card is just insanely snapped in half. You could also play a simple draw one super combo, but I'm going with Edge of Space because, again, you will have excess energy, so the cantrip works out pretty well. The other thing too is when you do ramp with the Gokus and Vegetas off your life, spoiler if you guys do know what those do, when you ramp with the Gokus and Vegetas from your life and you swap them out with Zeno, Edge of Space, you get to keep that ramp because the Gokus and Vegetas say if they're still in the energy at the end of the turn, remove them. But if they're not in the energy, if you swap them out with Zeno, Edge of Space, well, you get to keep that ramp. I'm still trying to test if that's kind of relevant. It's kind of a niche play, but it does seem kind of good in theory. If it doesn't work out too well, I'm probably going to go with the Zamasu super combo. That's probably what's going to end up happening. But if it does work out, if it does turn out to be a really good play, then I'll keep the Zeno, Edge of Space in there. But I wanted to let you guys know what I was thinking in terms of that. So Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku, Hope of Victory, and SSB Vegeta, Blaze of Passion. They're basically the same card with the same effect text, so I'll just read one of them. Permanent: during your opponent's turn, if all your energy is mono blue and you would reveal this card from your life to add it to your hand, you may place it in your energy in rest mode instead. If you do, draw one card. Auto: at the end of your next turn, after you place this card in your energy with a skill, if this card is in your energy, place it in your owner's drop area. So that's exactly what I was talking about with the Zeno Edge of Space before, because if they're still in your energy by the time this checkpoint hits, you lose the energy. But if you swap it out with Zeno, Edge of Space, you can then keep the ramp, and then you can actually get these cards back in your life with a card we'll talk about in a few minutes. Now, these are pretty much here solely for the ramp, and it's so good, by the way, that when you put them in your energy from your life, you get to draw a card off of that. That just keeps your hand advantage up. Like, you basically still take a damage, and get an energy out of it. Like, it is really plus. Like, against aggro, this is really good because it helps you hit your curve faster. Like, one of the problems with aggro is that they rush you down so fast you don't ever get to actually, you know, use your boss monsters or play your big cards. Well, when aggro rushes you down, if you're a little bit lucky, you get to meet your curve faster, which is really cool. Next up, we're playing 3 Bulma Master Scientist. So she has the same effect. If she gets hit off your life, you get to play her instead. When this card's played, look at the 5 cards on top of your deck, add a Blue Son Goku, Vegeta, or Trunks Future from them to your hand. So we have tons of targets for this. Obviously, these are 8 of them right here, but we're only playing 3 Bulma because unfortunately she's not a 1-drop. If she was a 1-drop, she'd be way better, but she isn't. So we want to play a high number of cards that we're going to put into our life and then get effects when they get hit out of our life. So playing 3 Bulma does work out pretty well. You just get the free real estate, you play her, you get the free 5k combo off of her, then search for the Goku or Vegeta that you need. Next up, a few more Gokus and Vegetas we're playing. Vegeta Warrior that cross time. I like this a lot more than the 1-drop double strike Vegeta because this deck doesn't necessarily need to be aggressive. I'd actually much rather have like Dimension Magic and this card in my hand, because the thing with Dimension Magic is it's only as good as the energy you're going to use on your opponent's turn, you know, the excess energy that you get. And Vegeta Warrior the cross time is perfect. Unique counterattack, permanent during your opponent's turn. If your leader card is a blue Trunks Future, reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1. So it's a 1-drop negate, it's fusion fodder, it works out really well. Super Saiyan Blue Son Goku Tenacious Warrior. This is another Goku I'm going with in the deck because sometimes you will want to get cards off your life. There are going to be some matchups that don't attack you, like Piccolo, and then some matchups that are just going to straight up attack your Unison card just to not give you cards off your life. So sometimes you do need to get that lower life total, and if they remove this Goku, you just plus off of it. You search top 7, add a blue Unison, and it's fusion fodder. Supreme Kai of Time, Unison of History. This is the main linchpin of the deck. So it's a 2 specified blue Unison card, cost of X. Activate main once per turn. If your leader card is a blue Future Trunks, you can add 1 card from life to your hand. At the end of your turn, switch up to 1 of your mono blue energy to active mode, and then the +1 effect, activate main, add 1 card in your life to your hand, then choose 1 card from your hand and place it in your life. So that's the way you're going to get those Gokus, Vegetas, and those Bulmas into your life, so that when your opponent hits them, you get to use their effects. This is, again, the main engine of the deck. Once you have this for like several turns, you know, ideally you drop it on turn 2, and then the game goes relatively long depending on the matchup. Once you activate this effect multiple times, you're going to know every single card in your life. So it's actually like a Shenron leader, but after a certain amount of time, you get to like pretty much dictate the order of your life. So you're like, okay, you're going to do damage to me. I'm going to hit this Goku off my life because I know it's there. You know, it is your public knowledge, not public knowledge, but it is something you're allowed to know and keep track of. You're allowed to order it how you want. So yeah, bring up those memes of how people were picking life in random order, right? So this card kind of allows you to do that. It's really strong in that regard. And the 15k, basically extra leader on turn 2, is actually insane pressure. Like when I was playing Red Yellow Surge Goku against this, my defensive options felt so limited. Like my only good defense against this type of thing was Topo, because like Bardock Raider's Warcry, for example, doesn't tap Unison cards. Giant Ball doesn't tap Unison cards. It was actually pretty crazy how that all worked out. So one of the strengths of this deck for sure. 2 Ultra Instinct Son Goku the Unstoppable. I always talk about this card in blue decks. I don't want to play it, but there's just too much synergy in this deck not to play it, because you can charge it and then fuse with it in a play that I'll explain in a minute. But it is one of the best counter plays. It is getting reprinted in the summer, so hopefully it is a lot more accessible. Vegito Infinite Radiance, one of our main play starters. Deflect, Barrier, Union Patora, Blue Son Goku, and Blue Vegeta for free. Permanent, if you have 4 or more energy, you can choose battle cards in your energy when choosing cards to use this card's Union skill from your hand. So again, you can use the UI Goku, charge it, and then fuse with this. But of course, you want to be charging the Gokus and Vegetas out of your life and then fusing them into this guy. Super Saiyan Blue Vegito, Paralyzing Prowess. This is our boss monster, which I'm pretty surprised is a rare, by the way, for how powerful this card is. So Deflect, Triple Strike, Barrier. Man, that brings back really bad memories. EX Evolved for 4 blue. Vegito with an energy cost of 5. If your leader is a blue Future Trunks card and this card's played or attacks, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and places them at the bottom of the deck in any order. So is it Gogeta 7? No. Takes a little bit more setup. Takes a little bit more of a specific leader, and it doesn't rip your opponent's entire hand, but it rips 4 cards and swings for a huge triple strike, barrier, deflect, lots of protection. Very good card. Now finishing up, rounding out the deck, we have 3 Obuni After Image Slash. Unfortunately, we are playing a blue deck. You're just going to play Obuni. It's just that good. Super Saiyan Trunks God Sealing Technique. When this card comes out, guys, if you've watched this far into the video, if there is any point where this card is like $5 or less, please pick up your playset. This card is going to be so snapped in half broken. You're playing 4 copies. It's just so insane. And then 1 Black Smoke Dragon Eternal Evil. Maybe the Mono Blue Seeker will be better. We don't know what that card is yet. So at the moment, we're playing the Black Smoke Dragon. You could play Negative Energy Dragon Balls. Basically, whatever generic card you want to play in the slot. Could be a 4th Obuni, but I do really like the Black Smoke Dragon. No UI Kamehameha. I want to mention that real quick because it's a card in testing that has really underperformed because you can't use it on unison cards. A lot of times your big damage dealers are going to be your unison cards. Not so much in this deck, but like in a lot of decks that will be the case. And yeah, so it doesn't work out too well. But guys, hopefully you enjoyed the deck profile. I want to know what you think in the comments below about this Trunks deck. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.